Hi, it's Trevor Rooney again, the world-famous Ghost Walk of York, which was established over 30 years ago. In fact, this Ghost Walk was the first theatrical costume Ghost Walk ever to have kicked off in the United Kingdom, if not anywhere in the world. And that's a true story. There have been arguments about which Ghost Walk started when and who started the first and stuff like that. But at around about the same time that I started my theatrical Ghost Walk, there were two other Ghost Walks in existence in York, which was the Haunted Walk from Exhibition Square at 8 o'clock, which is still going from there, and the original Ghost Walk, which is run by Mark Graham, that goes from the King's Arms at 8 p.m, which is the flooded tavern by the river. The three of us, over the years, have had our fair share of troubles. It's got to be admitted, there's no doubt about that, and people would say that when I'm doing this sort of a video that I'm sort of dragging up old ground. Well, I'm not trying to do that really. What I'm trying to say is that there are too many ghost walks in York now. And it's not my fault, and it's not Mark's fault, and it's not anybody else's fault. It's just the fact that at the end of the day, these people came along and decided to copy a good thing. I mean, there's one Ghost Walk in York that's copied all my patter and copied all my magic tricks and dresses up in long black cloaks and top hats and stuff like that. There's another Ghost Walk in York that starts from a different place that dresses up in long black cloaks and top hats and all that. There's another Ghost Walk that just started as wearing a long coats and hats, again, almost a direct copy of my Ghost Walk because there was involvement with me. There have been arguments about which Ghost Walk started when and who started the first and stuff like that. But at around about the same time that I started my theatrical Ghost Walk, there were two other Ghost Walks in existence in York, which was the Haunted Walk from Exhibition Square at 8 o'clock, which is still going from there, and the original Ghost Walk, which is run by Mark Graham, that goes from the King's Arms at 8 p.m, which is the flooded tavern by the river. And unfortunately for the tourists who are coming to York wanting to do such a thing, they're looking through all the leaflets and they don't know from Adam which one's the one which was originating the style of entertainment that York has had for all those years. And I'm not going to mince my words here. I know that when they come on my Ghost Walk, it is completely different to any other Ghost Walk in York. I know that I believe in ghosts, and that's absolutely true too. I mean, I'm sitting here at a table now with a pile of books that, you know, took me some time to write. In fact, they're all handwritten. I've spent about 5 years writing them and stuff like that, and in these books here there are stories about the trials and tribulations of running a ghost walk under the circumstances that I'm just mentioning it. There's, you know, troubles on the streets, and there's aggravation, and, you know, it's like kind of who's going to be the best, and it's a war. And that's basically one of the things that I'm sort of bringing forward again, is the fact that York is a ghost war. The newspapers of the past have called ghost bust-ups in their headlines and things about rival gangs, you know, sort of like getting angry and sort of causing aggravations and things like that. You know, boards going missing on the streets, leaflets disappearing out of hotels when you put your advertising out. You know, all that kind of stuff. It's like constantly you don't know whether your leaflets are going to stay on display or whether they're going to disappear. It's a battle, constant battle. And in the old days, you know, there wasn't such things as what's on. You know, the what's on people who lots of, like, you have to be a member of, you know, you sort of have to pay big money to be a member, then you have to pay loads of money to get your leaflets distributed, and then there's just not enough room in the leaflet racks to put your leaflets in. I mean, you know, it's like they're all taken up in any case, so what's the point of being a member? And then you go on to sort of talking about the fact that, you know, if you sort of try to advertise at the youth hostel down in Clifton in particular, that there's only one Ghost Walk allowed to advertise in there. It's like, what is going on? You know, aren't people who are members of tourist information and visitor information centres and stuff like that allowed to place their advertising in tourist board members' places? Or is it kind of like this mafioso style sort of like operation where, you know, we'll do what we want and, you know, you can suffer the consequences and stay on the corner of the street, you know, promote your business and walk up and down with leaflets all day long when probably most of us have got better things to do. And then find that, you know, because of that, you know, because people see that even that works, even in its small way, you know, not dramatically, that suddenly there's a whole bunch of other people standing around in the corner doing the same old thing. I mean, I don't know why I just don't sort of like get in touch with all the pubs and set up a business where we get people standing about 30 feet from everybody's pub front door and advertising other pubs, you know, about who's got the best food and stuff like that, and see how the landlords go on about sort of that kind of promotion, because I'm sure that, you know, pubs and other businesses wouldn't be happy if there was somebody stood sort of within sort of like 50 feet of where they're trading, you know, giving leaflets out, trying to recommend them to another pub or whatever down the street. I mean, it's ethically wrong. Right, I've said all I've wanted to say now. This will probably be the last sort of film or video of its kind until something else comes along that makes me want to say something to the outside world. But until then, I'm just going to sit quiet and see what happens. The most important factor of this sort of self-confessed ideological YouTube video is to get the message across. But unfortunately, the Ghost Walk people, the visitors to York, don't know which Ghost Walk to join. And I'm saying that, yeah, come and look for mine, the first original theatrical Ghost Walk in York, which is true. I make no bones about that one. But, you know, go and have a look at Mark Graham's Ghost Walk, if you're in York, from the King's Arms at 8 o'clock. And go and have a look at the Haunted Walk from Exhibition Square at 8 o'clock. I mean, they are the three main ghost walks in York that I think should be looked at, because if it wasn't for us, there wouldn't be such a thing as ghost walks in York in the first place. There have been quite a few ghost walks that have complained bitterly about this kind of unfair treatment of advertising, and I think something should be done about it. And not only that, there's something else as well, and that is the fact that there's a particular ghost walk in York that seems to have priority over being able to advertise on all the dustbins in York. I've queried this with the York City Council, and whenever I try to speak to them about planning permission to, you know, place ghost walk advertising on their bins, basically is they just turn around and say, well, we don't give planning permission for this. But how come for the last 10 or 11 years a particular ghost walk has got their stuff plastered all over the bins around the cathedral? It doesn't make sense to me. And that's something else that needs to be sorted as well, because, you know, when I first started doing the ghost walks, I mean, I took a liberty and started putting my advertising all over the city, including boards, and the amount of trouble I had with the council over it, you know, because obviously if you ask for permission, you don't get permission. So basically the only option was to actually put these boards out on the streets and then find about like 3 or 4 days that they were taken in by the council and being stored away in their storehouse. I mean, there was so much trouble over this sort of like getting the ghost walk started. Unfortunately, the tourists don't know who's original and who isn't. I mean, you know, it's taken a lot of innovation and a lot of invention to put something out there that's special for the people. And I do want to say to the people who watch this film that it's quite important for you to realise that although I seem like I'm having a bit of a go and it sounds like sour grapes, it's not like that really. It's just the fact that I want to get the message across to the people and let them know that it's worth a mention, because you guys who are looking for the ghost walks don't know which one to choose. And I think you should make a choice between the three, especially mine. So that's me, Trevor Rooney, the world famous Ghost Walk of York, which starts from the Evil Eye at 7:30 in the street of Stonegate, about 1 minute from the York Minster. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for that particular spot, if you go down the street and you see a big sign over the top of the street which says Ye Olde Star Inn, which is a great big pub sign, usually with sort of plants hanging on and stuff. If you just hang about there, that's where the guide would come to meet you to take you on a beautiful 1 hour walk of York and tell you some great stories with real character, to which is something that I've liked doing and will remain doing, irrespective to any ideas of trying to license ghost walks in York and make people's lives a misery, because there is a rumour flying around that somebody's going to try to run certain ghost walks out of York and license it. Well, let me just say to those people who have got this bright spark idea that the fact that if me and the former ghost walks had come up with that one in the first place and wanted to be really, really greedy, if we'd done that, you guys, you wouldn't be standing there now doing your ghost walks.